The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago. A lot of money is coming out of the ground. We're going to get reimbursed for all of that. We're going to get reimbursed for everything that we spend. So it's going to be a very important. This is a very big evening that took place last night. We have to be surrounded by safe, secure countries, and we also have to have energy. Very important. We have to have energy that's real energy, not where they're getting 4% and 5% of the energy out of the ground. You take a look. It was such a disaster. So what's going to happen with Venezuela, I think, over the next period of a year is going to be a great thing. And the people of Venezuela will be the biggest beneficiaries.
This is AfriPlus News Channel. What if one of the most controversial leaders in modern Latin American politics was suddenly removed by direct foreign military force? What if a sitting U.S. president openly declared that another sovereign nation would be taken care of until a new government emerged? And what if millions around the world were now reacting, protesting, and questioning whether the global order has crossed a dangerous new line? This analysis examines the explosive claims surrounding U.S. actions in Venezuela, the alleged capture of President Nicolás Maduro, and the far-reaching implications of such an event. Before continuing, viewers are encouraged to like, share, and subscribe for more critical global analysis like this. According to the claims circulating globally, Donald Trump, the current president of the United States, publicly confirmed a U.S. military operation targeting Venezuela and stated that President Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, were taken into U.S. custody. If such a statement were accurate, it would represent one of the most dramatic assertions of executive power in recent history. What does it mean for international law when a sitting U.S. president claims responsibility for the detention of another country's head of state? And if world leaders can be removed this way, who truly decides the limits of sovereignty in the modern era? The claim that the United States would run or take care of Venezuela until a safe and proper transition raises even deeper geopolitical questions. Temporary administration of another nation has historically been associated with occupations, trusteeships, or regime change operations justified by security or humanitarian narratives. If global powers reserve the right to oversee transitions in weaker states, does this signal a return to interventionist doctrines once thought to be fading? And who defines what qualifies as a proper transition? The affected population or external actors with strategic interests?
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do. We're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place.
Reports further allege that worldwide protests erupted demanding the release of the Venezuelan president. Public reaction, whether in Latin America, Africa, Europe, or parts of Asia, highlights how deeply divided global opinion remains on interventionist policies.
The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! El pueblo unido jamás será vencido! El pueblo unido jamás será vencido! The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! El pueblo unido jamás será vencido! El pueblo unido jamás será vencido! Everywhere! The people united will never be defeated! The people! Venezuela no se vende. You will take this outside. We know what we're fighting for.
I'm Chris Gilbert in Caracas, Venezuela. Here we are near Miraflores Palace. People have come together to defend the Bolivarian process, to defend the government, to defend our President Nicolás Maduro. Last night at approximately 2 a.m. in the morning, we were bombed by the United States of America. The greater Caracas area was struck at a number of locations. People were killed, buildings were destroyed, infrastructure was destroyed, and they unfortunately terribly seized President Nicolás Maduro and his wife. They kidnapped them and took them to the United States. Here we are rejecting this horrible violation of sovereignty, not just sovereignty of Venezuela, not just against the Bolivarian Revolution, but against all nations and peoples of the region and in the world who desire to be free, that desire to maintain their sovereignty and pursue human emancipation. Here, we are in control of the situation. The government is in control of the situation. There will be no transition to another government. We are calling to peoples in the world to reject this. We want the president back. We reject this violation of our sovereignty, our dignity, and our right to pursue our own path forward. Down with U.S. imperialism.
Some may view such actions as necessary to end authoritarian rule, while others see them as violations of international norms. When citizens across continents take to the streets over a single event, does this reflect growing resistance to unilateral power, or does it expose how fragile trust in global governance has become? The most serious claim involves a large-scale U.S. military operation launched on 3rd of January 2026, reportedly including airstrikes and special forces actions in Caracas. If accurate, such an operation would represent a major escalation beyond sanctions, diplomatic pressure, or covert activity. Military action inside a capital city inevitably raises civilian safety concerns and questions about proportionality. If force becomes the preferred instrument for resolving political deadlock, what precedent does this set for other global powers facing rival governments they disapprove of? The alleged capture and transfer of President Maduro and Cilia Flores to U.S. territory would, if confirmed, mark an extraordinary moment in international relations. Detaining a foreign head of state without a multinational mandate or international tribunal process would challenge established diplomatic conventions. Should global justice be pursued through international institutions or through direct action by powerful states? And if legal processes are bypassed, how does that reshape the credibility of international law itself? President Trump's reported criticism of Maduro's government and justification of the operation as a move to restore stability and protect U.S. interests reflects a familiar strategic framing. National interest has long been used to justify foreign interventions, particularly in regions rich in resources or geopolitical significance. But when stability is defined externally, whose security is truly being prioritized? And can stability imposed by force ever achieve long-term legitimacy in the eyes of the affected population? Beyond Venezuela, the implications extend to Africa, Asia, and other regions where power imbalances already shape global politics. Many governments are watching closely, not just to assess the truth of these claims, but to evaluate what they suggest about the future of sovereignty. If leadership disputes can invite external military resolution, will weaker states feel pressured to align more closely with powerful allies for protection? And does this dynamic increase global stability, or does it push the world closer to fragmented blocs and perpetual tension? This situation, whether fully accurate or partially exaggerated, highlights the importance of verification, restraint, and institutional accountability in international affairs.
It's now official. The U.S. will rule over Venezuela until a new president is elected. This is the updates that are coming from the situation between the U.S. and Venezuela. Like I said before, Nicolás Maduro was captured yesterday after his press conference and is now on the way to the U.S. He will be charged in the U.S. for drug-related crimes in New York. Yes, as we speak, just imagine that this is a sovereign nation and the president is being captured and taken to another country to be charged. Where is the sovereignty? Where is the democracy? I'll leave this to all of you to respond to it. But as we speak, the US said they will be in charge of Venezuela until a new leader is being elected. And How they're going to do that, how the election, who is going to organize and all those things, nobody know about that as of now. But there is something interesting that's going on in Venezuela. There is a group of people that are against the actions of the US. And in the US, there are people who are still Venezuelans who are appreciating the actions of Trump, saying that Trump has done a very good thing to capture Nicolás Maduro. It's an unprecedented situation that many people have not witnessed, where an active leader who is ruling a sovereign nation is being captured by the US.
In an era where information spreads instantly, claims of military action and regime change can inflame public opinion long before facts are fully established. How should audiences distinguish between confirmed policy, political rhetoric, and misinformation? And what responsibility do governments and media platforms carry in preventing escalation driven by unverified narratives? In conclusion, the alleged U.S. operation in Venezuela, the reported detention of its president, and the global reaction form a critical moment for evaluating power, law, and accountability in the modern world. This analysis is not about choosing sides, but about asking difficult questions that shape the future of international relations. Viewers are encouraged to share thoughtful and respectful opinions in the comment section. What does this situation suggest about the direction of global power? And how should nations respond when sovereignty and intervention collide? For those who value in-depth, independent analysis, support AfriPlus News Channel by joining the channel membership and using the Super Thanks feature. This support helps sustain detailed global reporting and balanced analysis like this. Disclaimer. This video presents analytical commentary based on publicly circulating claims and reported statements for educational and discussion purposes. It does not assert the absolute factual accuracy of all allegations mentioned. Viewers are encouraged to consult multiple credible sources and form independent conclusions.